What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the GTO again. This video is probably going to be over a few days or maybe a week or so because I don't want to bore you guys with the same old I'm sanding something, so I'll kind of just check in as I'm working on the car and doing things that I think are informative or exciting. So let's get to work.
Why don't I say it fucking right?
Alright, so I got both front fenders. One of them's over there, one of them's over there. I have those both ready for primer now. The front valance and the rear valance are also ready to be reprimed. I ended up having to do a bunch of like small repairs on this valance, a bunch of stuff I didn't like. And the rear one was actually really good. And what I had just finished doing now is I sanded the whole back side of both. And as you can see, there's lots of like surface rust on them. So what I ended up doing is sanding them down, sanding off as much of the rust in that as I could. And then I ended up putting that rust, this rust converter stuff, I ended up putting that on both of these. And then once that stuff dries good, I'm gonna mask off, you know, any areas that are supposed to be body color. And I'm gonna paint that with, I don't know where I have it, but I have this stuff here. I am gonna coat it with this rocker guard right here. And that'll give a nice durable finish. It'll look nice and black. I mean, probably once that stuff gets painted, I'll have to touch it up. It'll get some overspray, but I'd rather get some paint overspray on that stuff than get the black stuff on fresh paint. So now what I'm doing is I got the doors off, or this door off. I gotta get it ready. I gotta sand. There's body filler kind of on the edge here from doing body work, stuff like that. But what I wanted to show you and why I started the video today is that a tip is once you have your doors on and they're all aligned good, what you do is you take a drill bit. I don't know if you can really see, but there's a hole drilled right there. And then on this one, right there. And then if you go over to the hinge, there's a corresponding hole. If you look right there and right there. So the reason you do that is so this way when you go to put the door back on, you can take a drill bit or something or a punch, push it through the hole. That should get your alignment almost perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I want to take these off, but before I take them off, I'm going to drill corresponding holes in here and here. Just going to find a spot. Let's go there. And that should get you pretty close to where you want to be. Just like that. Now doing this might not get you 100% back where you were, but it's going to get you pretty close, that you'll be close in alignment. I mean, something like this you can kind of, where it was bolted, you can kind of, it leaves a mark, but it's best to do it this way. This way you can get them back aligned so that when you put the panel back on, it'll pretty much fit. You might have to do some fine tuning, but it'll get you in the ballpark, which is really good to do once the car's painted because you don't want to be banging the door into the rocker or to the door jamb part. So now I'm going to do some work on these doors, cleaning up all this body filler and stuff. And I'll check back in with you guys later when something interesting that I can share with you guys. I put that rust converter stuff on the back side of this valance and the front. And then as you can see, I sprayed the whole thing with the rubberized gravel guard stuff. And I put it on this side too. So this is all looking good. So yeah, these two pieces are ready to go. Might put a thin coat of primer on them and then they'll have to be blocked again before paint. But for the most part, both of these parts are done. The door has all been sanded. The little couple spots I had to fix in the door are good. I'm gonna buy some seam sealer, maybe tomorrow or the next day, and get the door seam sealed up and it'll also be ready. So yeah, I'll check back when something else exciting happens. All right guys, so it's a few days later. I'm back out here working on the car again. So I ended up throwing this fender back on just to get it out of the way, make sure everything was good with it. This door I also put on. I never ended up getting the seam seal. Well, I did get it, but I went looking for some. I couldn't find the stuff I wanted, but I got some yesterday, so that door's got to come off again and get seam sealed. In the meantime, I took this door off, blocked it, and of course I thought this door was perfect, just needed to be blocked again, and I ended up finding a bunch of spots I didn't like. There was a high spot, there was a high spot there, and then here was a low spot, and here was a couple little high spots. They're very minor high spots, but I definitely want to take care of them. I know they're at the very bottom of the door, so you wouldn't really notice it as much. But I want to fix it nice, obviously. It's the thing that sucks. As I'm block sanding, I'm finding things that I don't like that I have to fix. So that's what's making it take so long to get it back into primer. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I kind of kept putting it off, because I didn't really want to have to deal with all this. But anyways, so I just put some filler on there. I tapped them down, all the high spots, with body hammer, like this. And now I'm gonna wait for this to dry, sand it. I'll check back in when this door is all sanded up. All right, guys, so this car has been kicking my ass. I sanded those parts on the door. I had to do more. There was some low spots I didn't like that I had to fix, stuff like that, but I finally got it good. I got seam sealer. I seam sealed the door edge all the way around, so you can see there. I also took the other door off again, seam sealed it. I also seam sealed up, there's supposed to be seam sealer in this edge here and on the other side. And I also did here where I spliced in the full floor. The full floor that I put in goes right from this rocker to that rocker, from that white line all the way back to right up there where it's not black anymore. That's all complete one piece floor pan with braces and everything. So I'm confident in saying that the car is ready to be reprimed now. And once it's reprimed, it's all pretty much blocked out in 220 right now. So once it's reprimed, it should be able to block. I should be able to block it with like maybe lightly with 220 and then 400 after that. And then it should be ready for paint, I hope. So yeah, finally that's all done. So we're going to prime it next and then start sanding again. What's up, guys? So it's another day. Got the car all cleaned up, ready to be primed. I got all the parts laid out here, all the smaller stuff, and the spoiler, that fender, and then I have to do that fender still, but I'll have to probably move the other fender off that racking or something so that I can do it. The car's been all cleaned up and degreased, and then I bought out the primer, which I got from a local place called Rondex, and it's a direct to metal primer. There it is right there. I bought it a couple months ago. It's been sitting and it was pretty separated, so I'm just mixing it right now using this mixer right here. And of course I tried mixing it and I shot paint all over the floor and up on the workbench here, you can see. So yeah, I made quite the mess. So definitely a good thing to do with paint when it's sitting is take it to your local like paint store, either body shop paint store or like a Home Depot or something. Get them to mix it in their shaker machine. But I use this, which also works, but you got to be super careful or you're going to make a mess. So I'm going to mix this up a little more, and then maybe we'll get some in the gun and spray something. A better idea also might be to buy the primer right before you're going to use it. Don't wait a couple months like me, procrastinating to get the car ready to prime. All right, so I didn't film it. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I got some stuff primed, all this small stuff, that fender, the spoiler, at least the top part. I have to flip it over to the other side, but so far all of it's turning out really good. So probably when I do my next, when I fill the gun again, I'll film some of it. It's just I wasn't sure how the paint was going to lay down or how the gun was going to work. But actually I spent a lot of time cleaning the gun. This is my primer gun, and it actually works really good. Mix up some more primer, and then we'll do some more spraying. All right, so I'm all done for tonight. It's all primed up, but I mean, you guys will have to wait till tomorrow, but for you it'll only be a second. So yeah, let's take a look at it tomorrow. The cloud of smoke from the painting has subsided, and now we can take a look at the car. Got a little bit of trash there, that's nothing. I did notice here there was a few pinholes in the bodywork. You probably, maybe you can see it right there. Some little slight pinholes. I noticed a little bit of a little spot right there. This side of the car actually looks pretty good. This side is pretty much ready to go, other than a few little things like I just showed you there. I'm gonna go buy what's called the 2-part like glazing putty. It's not a heavy Bondo or body filler like what I was using. It's a lighter stuff that you can sand with a lighter sandpaper, and it's for finishing and fixing small imperfections like that. So then I should be able to fix I'll go over the car, kind of fix those little tiny imperfections like I just showed you, those pinholes. I could just bolt the car back together and be done with it, because it looks pretty good in primer, but you know, we probably should paint it. Next blocking, I'm hoping, will be with like a 400 grit, and it should be the final block. And I also still have like at least a third can of primer left, so I can reprime some spots if I have to, or I probably have enough that I could put another coat on the whole car if I need to. So it didn't actually use that much paint to put a whole coat of primer on the car, and I probably put like at least 3 coats on the whole entire car or more. So yeah, that's gonna be it. So stay tuned for the next video, and if you like what you see, subscribe if you haven't, share it with your friends, and we'll check you later.